And now we begin with the papers. So the first one is I'm going to invite on stage the team from the Lightbulb AI and Merrill Research. And their theme is going to be Emotional AI, Enhanced Qualitative Research to understand purchase drivers, decision-making process, and competitive brand preferences for a leading microchip manufacturer. Welcome.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's an absolute pleasure to be in front of such an august audience today and presenting in the adventurous section, no less. Let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Ritu Soni Srivastav. I'm part of the founding team at thelightbulb.ai. We are an emotion AI platform, and what that really means is that whenever you have a digital interaction, it could be a live one, like the one that we have on video conferences every day, or it could be an asynchronous one. Say, imagine consuming content on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. In all of these interactions, we are instinctively giving off emotional signals as to whether we are liking the experience or not. And that's really what our technology does. It helps you capture those small but extremely significant emotional cues to help you as a researcher understand whether the conversations that you're having are grounded and whether your facts or your insights are coming from a place of recognizing the emotion behind it. Let me briefly tell you a little bit about our project. Our project was with Merrill Research based out of the US, which was working on understanding the purchase drivers for a leading semiconductor brand. They wanted to understand whether significant contributors to the purchase process actually had veto power to stop the selection process in the middle, which was their specific aim. And more of the details will be coming from my research colleague, but let me briefly tell you a little bit about the technology that we deployed in using this. We work across 5 or 6 key technologies: facial coding, eye tracking, conversation analytics, which includes things like speech transcription, text sentiment analysis, audio tonality analysis. And in any qualitative research, we bring all of these technologies together to map the visual language with the spoken language. Now, as you can understand, this can sometimes give rise to some very, very interesting insights. A few brief items that you can do with this qualitative technology is that you can use it in a live scenario, as in you can actually do your interviews and focus group discussions on ground in a CLT and simply take that material and push it onto the platform. So no need to change your existing styles of research. You simply layer the technology on top. Or if you're dealing with candidates across the globe, you have multi-ethnicity based respondent groups, then you can actually do this entire piece online in just a Zoom call or a Microsoft Teams call or a Gmeet call. The technology works across. So very, very briefly, how does the technology really work? You first essentially look at getting the audio feeds into the system, where you break it into audio feeds and video feeds. You then process the audio layer separately and the video layer separately using our proprietary algorithm. This gets broken up into facial emotion, text emotion, audio emotion, and then you actually visualize all of that data for researchers to pull on at their respective leisure. And all of this then gets aggregated into automated insights, and that's really where the magic begins. On this note, I'll hand over to my colleague Swati.
Good afternoon, everyone. I know after lunch, we all slip into food coma. But fear not, our presentation here is designed as the perfect espresso shot you may need right now. Today, I want to take you on a journey that combines the power of human insights with artificial intelligence. Our case study here revolves around a semiconductor manufacturer that wanted to understand what are the purchase drivers in semiconductor procurement process, analyze the decision-making dynamics among technical professionals, and what are the brand preference and perceptions in influencing their procurement decisions. But before we delve into specific, let's take a step back and consider something we all can relate to: the power of brands. Every brand triggers emotion that stay into our memory. For instance, the moment I say Surf Excel, we instantly recall, anyone? Daag achhe hote hai. Amul, the taste of India. Why do these brands elicit such emotions? And what's the secret behind them etching their messages into our memory? Now let's bring it back to our semiconductor manufacturer. They were curious about the emotions, the hidden cues, and the subtle drivers that influence the choice of technical professionals in their industry. So, what did we do differently? We combined emotion AI with qualitative research to uncover hidden insights. Emotion AI provide unique perspective that traditional research methods might miss. Thus, our study bridges the gap between human emotions and technology, enriching the landscape of qualitative research. This empowers the business to make well-informed decisions, leading to more strategic and marketing campaigns. We conducted 18 in-depth interviews among technical professionals across USA, and these interviews were recorded and then fed into the Emotion AI platform to detect 7 key emotions: joy, surprise, sadness, fear, anger, contempt, and neutrality. So, what did we find? We decoded the silent cues, contradiction alerts, and hidden drivers behind decision making. Now let's look at few examples. I request you to direct your attention towards the emotional graph. Here the yellow signifies joy, green signifies the spike in surprise, purple is contempt, and blue is the engagement. We identified a contradiction alert in a professional when he claimed to have a veto power in purchasing semiconductor. Despite positive facial expression, the erratic patterns of joy hinted at concealed complexities. Deeper investigation revealed that he is not a sole decision maker, rather, a collective of decision makers shape the decision process. This disrupts the initial assertions and highlight the importance of probing beyond surface level affirmation. Dwelling into the emotional response of the professional towards stated component brands. The analysis reveals a spike in joy when the professional mentions his experience with a semiconductor manufacturer. This emotional upswing indicates the deep impact the brand has on him. Despite verbal assertions, these emotional spikes underscores the genuine affinity and positivity that the brand evokes. On the contrary, a spike in contempt is seen when a semiconductor manufacturer is mentioned. This heightened emotion indicates the negative experience the brand had on the professional. Emotion AI not only validate the facial expressions with stated responses, but also reveal the intensity of liking or disliking. It hence indicates the power of emotions, how consumers emotionally connect with the brands. A fascinating insights revealed as we were analyzing the emotional variation among generational gap, among young and experienced professionals. An evidence spike in surprise is seen among young professionals when they mention their preference towards tailor-made marketing and willingness to explore new vendors. Whereas a spike in joy is seen among experienced professionals, indicating their satisfaction and comfort level with established vendor relationship. To conclude, imagine having these superpowers. X-ray to see the emotional inclination, super hearing to hear the unstated response, and an internal polygraph to catch contradiction alert. That's the power of AI. We believe merging human expertise with artificial intelligence is the future of qualitative research, providing powerful and confident insights. Thank you.
Oh, there's one question.
Use cases
Came in just now, I
categories
think.
from India.
Thank you so much. I believe the question was around use cases that are found popularly and how our technology has been deployed for here in India. We're very thrilled actually to share that we work with some of the leading market research agencies here in India in a very short period of time. I'm sure a lot of them are here present among us. The primary use cases that we are used for is emotion AI-aided qual research, where qualitative research is uploaded into the platform and emotion graphs are deployed. Another very interesting use case we have seen very recently deployed by a leading agency for a leading FMCG brand is to use quantitative within the qualitative context. What that means is taking an actual pack design within the confines of a CLT, exposing the pack design, doing facial coding and eye tracking in real time, getting the data within 10 minutes and handing that over to the qualitative researcher to probe further during the qualitative sessions. Another very interesting piece we have seen again in a recent study is using mobile UX to compare the UX insights, time to fixation and dwelling on various aspects of the mobile user experience by a leading mobile services provider. And this was done across 2 countries, so consistent across both of the areas. So I think multiple areas, including UX, quant combined with qual, of course, and emotion AI-aided qual are the key areas where we are seeing a lot of interest. I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much.
One more, Greenman. How ethical is it to, do you inform the respondents as well when you're collecting the data?
Could you say that again?
How ethical is the entire process, and do you inform the respondents when you're collecting the data?
I think that's a great question. I think data privacy and consent is uppermost in every researcher's mind today. Our platforms are completely compliant with all of the leading regulatory authorities. So we are SOC2 Type 2 compliant, GDPR compliant, ISO compliant, all third-party certifications. And before every quantitative or qualitative process, we take an explicit opt-in. And of course, since these are paid respondents, there is an affirmation on the brand side as well, or the panel provider side, that the consent has been taken. So completely above board, I assure you. Thank you.